Right. I'm off to deal with the fate of the planet. Be gentle with them.
Oh, you know me, Mark. Kid gloves, but made from real kids.
In keeping with remaking old videos, there's one I have promised to do in a long time, but never had the chance to really get around of doing it. And seeing that the new Thunderbolts movie is soon coming out, I thought about giving you a quick overlook of every Red Guardian in Marvel's history. Now, the Red Guardian is a name that echoes through the history of Marvel Comics as the Soviet Union's answer to Captain America, and over the years multiple characters have taken up the mantle, each with their own little story, because unlike many other superheroes, the Red Guardian is part of the Winter Guard, the Avengers equivalent of the Soviet Union or Russia. So every time someone is injured or dies or whatever, the mantle is given to the next person, and that's one of the reasons why there are so many. Now, first of all, we have Alexei Shostakov, the original Red Guardian, so to speak, who also got adapted into the Black Widow movie. You will see. Now, he, like I said, he was the original, created in 1967, and Alexei was a Soviet test pilot turned face of the country. Contrary to Steve Rogers, Alexei has no super enhancements, and the KGB faked his death, brainwashed him, and then turned him into their Captain America. That was the story back then. Tragically, there was a point in time when Alexei died in battle against the Avengers, but he did get better. I love this joke. Every time someone dies in comics, they just get better after some time, you know. Comics is literally something where you can walk off death. Now, in the comics, he also spent some time as the Ronin, and I have covered the Ronin identity in another video that I'm planning on remaking. And yeah, he was the Ronin, and one of the few individuals besides Clint Barton to wear the mantle. Here's a little fun fact. Alexei was also the husband of Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, for a time in the comics. Now, the next person was Alexei Lebedev, or technically Alexei was the first, but his existence is a retcon. He followed alongside Captain America, the Naslund version, and of Captain America, and the Submariner into many battles. Now, Alexei Lebedev died in Marvel's version of the 1950s, and unlike other Red Guardians, his brief presence remains one of Marvel's lesser known stories or characters. The third Red Guardian, Joseph Petkovich, was a different kind of Red Guardian, as he actually rebelled against the Soviet government. He tried to use his powers to expose corruption, but ultimately he rebranded himself as the Steel Guardian and aligned himself back with the Soviet government, becoming a member of the Winter Guard. Joseph died fighting the Dire Wraiths, which is an alien race that I don't have the time to explain in this video, in some kind of, but yeah, he fought them in some kind of limbo dimension and hasn't been resurrected since his last appearance 15 years ago. The next Red Guardian was simply called Anton, and he didn't fit exactly the mold of a super patriot either, as Anton saw the role as more of a duty than a symbol of national pride, and again he often worked with the Winter Guard, keeping Russia's superhuman affairs in check. Now, Anton actually turned out to be an LMD, a robot if you will. Watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4 for deeper explanation of what an LMD is, and Anton lost his head in a battle, quite literally. So he isn't dead, he's still functional, but he isn't a Red Guardian anymore. That's why the mantle was given to Krasno Granitsky. Krasno was also a short-term iteration of the Red Guardian. He got the mantle. How he got the Red Guardian mantle is unknown and probably remains unknown forever. he teamed up with this mercenary superhero Maverick to battle a crime lord and got later executed by Alexander Lukin. And that's when we get our first and only female Red Guardian, Tanya Belenskaya, currently better known as, or who was known for the most part as the Russian superhero Starlight, as she was also part of Russia's superhero initiative, but she did have a more independent streak than the others. And yeah, she died in the same issue as Joseph Petkovich. And that's why we get to number 8, Nikolai Krylenko, one of the most well-known Red Guardians. Nikolai Krylenko is also known as the superhero Vanguard. He wields magnetic superpowers similar to Magneto. Though Nikolai initially fought against Western heroes, he later became the leader of the Winter Guard, and even though he was the Red Guardian for a time, he is currently back to being the Vanguard. Nikolai is the closest you can call to being the mental bearer of the Red Guardian, as he was the longest version of the character. Now there are obviously some more Red Guardians, but I do not have the time to cover them, so I'm just gonna go quickly over the more comedic MCU take of Alexei Shostakov, where he's out of shape and has superpowers, unlike his comic counterpart. Overall, it can be said that besides Galina and Nikolai, everyone was just a normal person with no superhuman abilities, and even the shield was not always like vibranium or just normal metal, I think, not as hard or anything. But yeah, for more comic deep dives like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and tell me in the comments who's your favorite Red Guardian. It really helps the engagement and growing my channel. See you next time.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Now get the fuck out of my driveway.